Good morning, everyone. My name is David Green, and this will be 3D printing in 5 minutes. And after I said I'd do it, I thought, oh my God, what have I done? Not because I'm up here, but because if you know anything about 3D printing, how can you explain it in 5 minutes? I also didn't want this to be, gratuitous. Here's what I've done. Look at it. It's cool. So here, go to the next slide. So the printer the one on the left is my Mingda. By any objective measure, it's better than the one on the right, which is my Ender 3. It looks nicer. It's a little bit bigger, so it'll print, slightly bigger objects. It has more features. It's faster, depending on what you're printing, anywhere from about a third to a half faster. But it's also boring. It is what it is. It's not quite closed source, but there's really not a lot of support for it outside the vendor. The one on the right is my first printer. It caused me no end of frustration. If you want to get into this, don't buy a used printer as your first one because you're inheriting all of their problems and you're trying to solve your own. That's what I did with the Ender. On the other hand, the Ender's mine, right? I went through it. I basically rebuilt the entire thing. I upgraded most of the parts on it. So all of the parts that are on it are all parts that, I decided I wanted. It's got the cool, touchscreen on the top. So, I made it mine. I will say that a lot of people get into printing because they think, oh, a printer is like a toaster. It'll work. It will do that. If you know anything about 3D printing, it will do that at best most of the time. Eventually, you're going to have a problem that's going to require working through sometimes multiple steps, and almost any problem you have with a 3D printer is one of 3, 4, 5 different possible causes, sometimes multiples. My Ender once had a problem where it was like 3 different things, all happening at once. Another difference between the two printers, and you can ask me later if you want, the other reason why the Ender is cooler is because it runs a firmware called Clipper. There are many more things you can do with Clipper. There are some performance things you can do with Clipper, input shaping, and some other things that you can add to it. The Mingda runs a firmware called Marlin. Marlin's a little bit older, but it's also used in, big commercial printers. It's used in a lot of other places. But so move to the next slide. So now we've got some gratuitous things I printed. So, we've got Marvin the Martian. We've got Wile E. Coyote. I didn't design any of these. These are all downloads that are available for printing. And the picture up on the right that's my daughter's cat. So you can take a printer and you can take an image, run it through some software, and end up with, printing something like that. So move to the next slide. And I thought, so here's some other things. That, for size reference, that dragon is 20 inches. So do the math on the centimeters. So 300-400 centimeters. We've got the snowman, and then I did a pair of coasters. Those are a multicolor print. It's a technique where you stop the printer at a certain layer, swap out colors, and keep going. If you have a printer that's multi-tool, you can put multiple filaments in it, and it'll just keep printing. Thought I had one more. Oh, yes, the gratuitous, because this is SharkFest, that's a hammerhead shark.
Thank you.